Hi, everyone. I am Sharon J. Lawrence, licensed clinical social worker and the visionary behind these 31 days. If you can hear me, I'll say that again. Having some technical difficulties. Sharon J. Lawrence here, licensed clinical social worker and visionary behind 31 days of healthy relationship tips for couples, families, friends, individuals, entrepreneurs, business people. And as you all know, for the past 9 days, tonight being the ninth evening, my focus has been on making sure that people are prepared to walk into 2020. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to wait until 2020 to do these things. But what I am saying is that you have a few more weeks to start preparing yourself in terms of how you manage yourself, how you deal with your mates, how you deal with your family members, how you deal with your friendships. And so it's important for me to make sure that I'm connecting. Most of you that know me personally know that for the most part, I am an introvert. So seeing me live, I've already gotten text messages and phone calls. They're like, what? What are you doing? Oh my God, what's happening? And just knowing the inside, I'm also doing what? What's happening? What's going on? Who are you? But I understand that a lot of the things that I've been doing over the past 2 years are much bigger than myself. And so that leads me to this. Tonight's focus is about families. And I know you're wondering, where is my guest? And so I guess for whatever reason, there's maybe a conflict in schedule. Dr. Susaye will have to catch us at another time. And that was Mr. Lawrence. That's his way of making sure now he's famous, so he wants to be in all the action. But we're going to move forward because it's important that we still continue no matter what. So let me look and see who is with us this evening. Please let me know if you're on, and also let me know where you are connecting from. All right, so we have a few people. We have 5 people with us this evening. Let me know where you're from, please. Type it in the comments. Let me know who you are and where you are located so we can get this train moving. All right. Al-Shanitha, I see you. Thank you for joining. Francis, my love, thank you for joining. Kristen, my love, thank you for joining. Kristen is going to be one of our speakers for tomorrow evening. She's saying that she's excited to be here. And it looks like my guest is joining me. So let's see if we can pull Dr. Susaye Rattigan on. All right. Dr. Susaye, are you here?
I am here.
Hi.
I am trying to get. Oh, okay. Yes.
Oh,
hello.
very bad connection. Very bad connection. Let's see if it's a lot of feedback.
Oh, no. See, I'm in. I am on the Wi-Fi, so I'm really not sure why.
You may need to take it off the Wi-Fi. Are you able to connect without the Wi-Fi?
I am not.
Okay, that's better. It's actually better.
Okay.
Yep. All right, guys. So we are here, and joining us is Dr. Susaye Rattigan. She is a clinical psychologist. Dr. Susaye, please tell the people, I'm excited that you're joining me. Please tell the people where you are located and what it is that you do, your specialty, everything.
Okay. All right. So hi, I'm Dr. Susaye Rattigan. I'm a clinical child and family psychologist. I'm joining you from Montego Bay, Jamaica, where I specialize in trauma and traumatic stress and women's emotional health.
Awesome. And so, tonight's topic, and if y'all didn't catch that, she said Montego Bay, Jamaica. Like,
Yes.
come on, y'all, this international. This is awesome. So thank you again for joining me. I'm super appreciative. We want to make sure in this 30-minute segment that people walk away with some tools and tips that help them to, I guess, embrace 2020 a little bit differently,
Right,
if you will, with some more optimism, but some strength and some
right.
to say, you know what, I can do some things differently. And I'm not talking about that typical New Year's resolution. I'm talking about
Right.
lifestyle changes, thought pattern,
Right.
changes, all of that. So when it comes to families, what are some of the challenges that you often see that comes up in your work with individuals?
Okay. Well, when it comes to families, I work with women primarily. And what I see is a lot of women have histories of like abuse, either verbal, physical, or sexual abuse that originate in their families. And so they have a lot of residue that they're experiencing in their own relationships as adults, right? Or in interacting with their children, or even with their relationships with their parents as they've aged and they're now adults. So it's a lot of dynamics as a result of what they've experienced before, or even just trying to outgrow some intergenerational patterns that of negativity, of like poverty or lack mindset that is carrying over into their own lives.
Right. Okay. So when they're coming in, basically you're helping them to understand that their past does impact their current relationships and even how they see themselves.
Right, definitely. And the interesting thing is that a majority of the women who do reach out to me, one of the first things that they say is that they're struggling with their past.
How about men? Any men come through your practice? I know that's not your primary focus, but any men come through, and are they also, finding that they have the same challenges as the women are facing?
Right. Well, with men, really the issues that they're struggling with is what's happening in their current relationships, right? And how they're sort of replaying cycles that they've had growing up in their past. But where the women are more aware of those connections, the men tend not to be.
Okay. So talk a little bit about your work in helping them to get to that place of awareness, because as we talk about healthy relationships, you can't do any of that until you actually do some of that work within yourself. So how do you help them come to that place of awareness?
Okay. Well, I think I'm pretty clear when it comes to the fact that our current realities are linked with our past realities. And so I sort of start with a narrative about this is how our past impacts our present. And so sometimes it's just drawing an association between what they're going through now and if they've ever experienced something in the past. I tried to not, jump right all the way in, but okay, all right, well, tell me a little bit more about this. What happened before this incident? And then have you ever experienced anything like that in the past? And does it look alike, or how did you work through it? And then try to draw that connection so that they can see that oftentimes we're replaying cycles.
So when you're dealing with how to have healthy relationships with family members or even friendships, if you will, I know I'm jumping ahead because we're doing that next week, but do you find that people have a hard time seeing themselves in that process though? Because I know for some people it's always from that lens of what was done to them, but we still have the responsibility of how we choose to move forward. Do you have that challenge in helping them to see themselves?
I do at first. And it's interesting because in some couple relationships, when couples come to work on their partners, oftentimes one person is trying to fix the other. And so that's why they come, because the other person has done something or is doing something that has caused irreparable damage to the relationship.
It's your fault.
It is. And so oftentimes they're not aware that they have played any role. And then when you start to get into it, you realize like, you're here to fix this person. This way you're here. So once you can get that out of the way, that you're here to fix this person, we can, get a dose of honesty going on. And we can say, all right, well, no one person contributes to a problem. So let's talk about this. But then also one way that I approach relationships is just look at what your earlier relationships with your parents have been like, and do you see anything replaying in your relationship? And oftentimes they do.
It's funny. I was speaking. I can't even remember who I said this to the other night. Actually, it was the Tysons, and we talked about the couples maps. You know, because I did the training with them, but I also did it with you as well. Yes. And we talk about that whole family map component that does look at the past and how you have witnessed relationships as you were growing up. What did you see? How did it impact you? And did it actually influence how you see your current relationships with people? Exactly. So I think that that's very important, because people often say, I will never do A, B, and C, but then they find themselves doing those the same exact things that they grew up witnessing. Yeah.
Right. I know. And that, I mean, that's a really great exercise, right? Because the truth is sometimes people don't really see it until they visually see it. Correct. And can draw the connection.
Correct. Yep. That's it. And so drawing that connection, and that means you have awareness now. Okay. So now let's talk about the work that happens after the awareness, because I'm sure awareness is scary for people.
It is. It really is. It's interesting. I got out of a session where I think the majority of that session I just listened so that I could draw make the connections for the person, because he is a man actually, so he didn't get it. Right. And so at the end he was like, oh, okay. And so I'm like, okay, let that sink in. Let it sink in. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I think that for those of you that are listening, we kind of jumped right in because for the sake of time, but it really is about awareness in all this, like what you choose to do, how you choose to do it, how you choose to respond, whether it is if you feel it's for your sense of protection, if you feel it's for your sense of peace of mind, or if it's for the preservation of that relationship.
Right.
What are you choosing to do? So, Dr. Susaye, I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but can you go into some of the tips that you can give people when it comes to establishing a healthy relationship with their loved ones, whether it's parents, whether it is with their spouse? I know we went over that already, but hey, some of this is continuation and it overlaps. We know that. And then you're talking about the toxicity of things that, that they encounter throughout their lives.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about what are those tips? How do you get there?
I think one of the most important tips that people can, or one of the most important things that people can maintain awareness of as they work on their relationships is that every person is human and they're walking their own path. And if we can just start there and understand that most people are not out to get us. They're not out to destroy us. They're not out to hurt us. They're really trying to meet their own needs. And they have the same needs that we do. They want safety and security and love, and they want, respect and all of those things. That if we can start from that place where we understand that everybody else wants the same things that we do, then it will make it easier to see them as humans who are also struggling like we are. That's the first thing. So the person who's angry, or person who is hurtful all the time, they might not be able to articulate their feelings or even be willing or even be able, right? But that they're in this human battle as well, in this human dance, then that will soften some of the blows that we're dealt. Not that we need to be willing to accept everything or everything that's, thrown at us, but that they're human, just like us.
Right.
And I know that is really helpful in terms of like healing parent-child relationships, because a lot of times we don't see our parents as human beings struggling as well, right? And so we carry a lot of that hurt and the pain from our childhood into our adult relationships with them. That really that doesn't really do us good. So if we can see them as humans too, at 20, when we were 20, we didn't know what we were doing, right? We had no real clue. And so when we think about our parents at 20, they were struggling too to try to find their way. And most of them still don't have the answers, haven't found their way. And so how can we be softer with them? How can we give grace and give margin to those people? And so just going there with that idea can really help to lessen some of the tension.
that was profound, because as you talked about their response to the parents, think that that's super key, because you're right. They see them as, you should have known better. You should have done better. It is your fault that I da 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 da. And in some cases, it is about responsibility. But you're right. In those situations where they did the best that they could,
right, with what they had, no, yes. They didn't have, right?
Yep. And what they knew, depending on the time too. Right. You know, what era were they in? Right. You know, how do you extend? You said extend grace and margin. Wow. Right. That's profound. All right, y'all, I need y'all to chime in. Where you at? Is this good stuff? Give us some thumbs up. Give us some Wakanda Forevers. Give us something. Let us know how we're doing on this end. Yes, this is the week of families. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you think, how you feel. Is this good stuff? Holla. Because, you know, we're just at the beginning point of these 31 days, and we're just trying to leave little tidbits for people how to think differently, all of that. I see the hearts, I see the likes, but give me something. Let me know where you are. All right, so we have Alshanita here. We have Francis, Kristen, Reverend Stacy. Thank you for watching. Reverend Stacy's going to be on this week too. I'm excited. These ladies are amazing. I'm just like pumped. My big sis Glenda's on. My big sis Tangie's on. So we have people from Maryland, Syracuse. What we got? Florida, New York. Deja, thank you so much. She says, this is great stuff, particularly parent and child. Glenda says, great stuff. And so this is good information. You took it to a whole nother level in terms of perspective of how we extend grace to the parents when you're trying to talk about healing and healthy, and being healthy. And I always tell people the word heal is part of healthy. It means it's a part of that progression of wholeness. And so we have about 5 minutes. So what are some other things that you feel that people need to know to be successful as they walk into this new season?
Okay. That, I know everybody says this, like forgiveness is for you. That a lot of times the process of healing in relationships comes down to forgiveness and being able to forgive and release some of the pain and the hurt that you've experienced without it being on display. I mean, not to judge anybody who wants to display it, but it's an internal work that I feel like I'm going to start preaching, but that the obstacles that we encounter they're how do I explain this? They're like pathways into growth. Is that, or they're a portal into growth, right? And so a lot of times we see that these challenges that we experience as roadblocks, when instead they are like they are the things standing in the way of the next level of our lives, the next level of our relationships. Right. And so if we can just approach whatever problems come up as an entryway into the next level of our growth and development, then that will help. That will definitely help the response that we can have to challenges as they come, right? As the holidays come and people are around their families more, things are going to come up. And so as opposed to seeing it as antagonistic, we can see it as something to sort of level up with, then it can push our relationships wide open. Wow. And to the next level. I know it's kind of, I mean, I don't know, but I think that's something I'm trying to work on in terms of conveying to people.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
That calls
us to grow.
I was trying to keep up with you, and I think I did keep up, but it was like, this is profound, because when you start, I got to read this. Obstacles are pathways to growth. See the next level as an entryway. Uh-oh. I lost your sound. Can you hear me, Dr. Susaye?
Oh.
There you go. You're
Okay,
back.
good, good.
Yep. And so when you said that, I was like, wow, that's good stuff. Sometimes you have to do things and put a little spin on words for it to stick with people. Obstacles are pathways to growth. People often see obstacles as things that are keeping them from growing, when actually how you respond, if I'm hearing you correctly, how you choose to respond to it, it leads to your growth if you walk the path. Am I hearing it right?
Yes, definitely. And I'm going to expand on that, because a lot of people stay stuck in the same place because they're afraid of tackling those things. They see them like, oh my God, they're too big, or they're too hard, or they're too painful. But if we are to sit with it and work through it, then it's like a portal into your next level, the next level of your relationship. Because I see that time to time with my couples, when they come and they've hit a roadblock. That roadblock is not the end of the world, but that roadblock is an opening into them being closer, into them having a better quality relationship, into just things that they can't even envision behind that door. And so let's not be afraid of the challenges that come up. Let's see them as opportunities, opportunities for growth and change and understanding, and just to move to the next level.
Y'all got this? This is good stuff. I knew this was going to be a journey, but this is good stuff. Okay, Dr. Susaye, let me read to you what's being said. Dr. Candace says, amen. People can only give what they know. We can all learn to extend grace because we all want it at some point.
Definitely.
Very true. That is awesome. And then Glenda says, I was saying, this is good stuff. She is just being so profound. She's like, yes, she is. And she put the hands up. So you are preaching. We have Randy. Hey, Randy. He's on from California. So we have people from all over. Randy says, powerful. Hashtag powerful. Dr. Tana's on. She was on last night. Amazing woman. Thank you so much for joining. So this is some good stuff. Okay, so I hope you all got what you needed. Dr. Susaye, tell the people what's up next for you and how they can keep up with what you're doing.
Okay. All right. So what's up next for me is retreats, because I'm doing healing retreats. And my next retreat is going to be in Bali, and I'm inviting 10 women to come with me. We're going to do some deep dive work and some relaxation and some self-care, but we want to come back better than we went. That's really the simple goal. So they're going to see Bali, eat some Balinese food, see the temples, talk about self-care and creating self-care rituals, and just healing from whatever residue of pain that we have that's sort of keeping us from moving on to our next level. So that's coming up next year, July. And I don't know, but I want to do one in Jamaica, but that hasn't been planned yet. So right now, Bali is next. I have some books I'm writing. I just released a relationship deck and a self-exploration deck that are available for purchase. But I'm just here.
And how can they get that from you?
Well, you can message me. I'm on all social media platforms at Dr. Susaye. I say my website is undergoing some maintenance right now, but I am reachable on all platforms. So if you just message me or on Facebook at Dr. Susaye, then I'll get you hooked up.
All right. So you guys heard it here first. How to find her, how to walk into your 2020 whole and with a new perspective. And she has a healing retreat. Glenda said, please take her. Yeah. Glenda will travel. So if you still got spots left, please post. So when she follows you, make sure you put your flyer out there so she can go. She will travel.
Yeah, good, Glenda.
Yes. Latasha Matthews just joined us. Hey. She says, hey, y'all. And so that is a wrap for us. Dr. Susaye, thank you so much for joining me all the way from Jamaica. I appreciate you. I really do.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharon. I really enjoyed my time here, and I'm happy to share.
Thank you. You guys give her some hand claps in the feed, something. And if y'all don't know, this is a person who she understands healthy relationship with self, with family. She literally quit her job and traveled the world with her child in tow. And so family is important to her. So I thought when I thought of this whole venture, your name was on the list from the very beginning. So I probably would have cried if you said no. So thank you for being able to share with the people. It was so profound. So you guys, that's it for us. We're saying goodbye. Thank you, Dr. Susaye.
All right. Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, bye-bye.